Good day and welcome to the channel. Aladdin is the 1992 smash hit animated film. I have chosen this film for several reasons. Let us now turn to them and consider them one by one, shall we? Let's turn to the first thing about this film, and that, of course, as usual, is both the director and the producer, who happens to be John Musker and Ron Clements in both positions, showing a dual directing gig and producing gig. Let us consider some of the films they've done together, shall we? And here they are: The Fox and the Hound in 1981, The Black Cauldron in 1985, The Great Mouse Detective in 1986, The Little Mermaid in 1989. This film, obviously, Aladdin in 92, Hercules in 97, Treasure, Treasure Planet in 2002, Bolt 2008, The Princess and the Frog 2009, Wreck-It Ralph 2012, Big Hero 6 2014, Zootopia and Mona in 2016, Ralph Breaks the Internet 2018, Aladdin 2019, The Little Mermaid in 2023. Now, the second guy we also need to know he's done a couple of other films besides the one I've just listed, such as Frozen 2 in 2019 and Aladdin in 2019. Let us now consider the second aspect of the film. This would ordinarily be the cast, but in this case we are now considering the voice cast. We begin with the titular character, Aladdin. He was voiced by Scott Weinger, and the singing voice for Aladdin is Brad Kane. The genie is voiced by Robin Williams. And of course, we all know Robin Williams from such films as Jumanji and Popeye and Peter Pan. Next, we have Jasmine, the love interest of Aladdin, who happens to also be a princess in the story. This character is voiced by Linda Larkin, and the singing voice of Jasmine is Leah Salonga. I believe that's how you pronounce the surname. Jafar is played by Jonathan Freeman. Abu is voiced by Frank Welker. Lago, the sardonic, hot-tempered parrot sidekick of Jafar, is voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. The Sultan, who happens to be the father of Jasmine, is voiced by Douglas Seal. Razul, the captain guard, is voiced by Jim Cummins. Gazim, the thief who Jafar sends into a cave, or to us just the thief, is voiced by Charlie Alder. And finally, you have Prince Ahmed, who is an arrogant character and is rejected by Jasmine, is voiced by Corey Burton. Let's now turn to the third thing about this film that it makes it great, and that is the musical score. This was all composed and put together and put forth for the film by a man called Alan Menken, who has done scores to several films starting from 1972 to the present. A Dancer's Life, A Little Shop of Horrors, The Little Mermaid, Rocky Five, Beauty and the Beast. That would be the animation in 91. Newsies, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York in 92, and Aladdin. Life with Mickey or Mikey, Pocahontas, The Hunchback of Notre Dame or Dame, Hercules, Home on the Range, Noel, The Shaggy Dog, Enchanted, Tangled, Captain America the First Avenger, Doc the Hero Dog, Mirror Mirror, Sausage Party, Araya for a Cow, Beauty and the Beast. That is the live adaptation with Emma Watson in the lead from 2017. Ralph Breaks the Internet, Holmes and Watson, Howard, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, and finally Spellbound. So what we see here is a rather impressive back catalogue to this guy. He's done both animation, well, work for animation and work for live action films as well. Let us now turn to his actual score for this film, shall we? All in all, there were 21 tracks to this animated film. We begin with the first one, Arabian Nights. Second, Legend of the Lamp. Third, One Jump Ahead. Fourth, Street Urchins. Fifth, One Jump Ahead Reprise. Sixth, A Friend Like Me. Seventh, To Be Free. Eighth, Prince Ali. Ninth, and this is particularly the most well-known song for the film, A Whole New World. 10th, Jafar's Hour. 11th, Prince Ali Reprise. 12th, The End of the Earth. 13th, The Kiss. 14th, On a Dark Night. 15th, Jasmine's Runaway. 16th, Marketplace. 17th, The Cave of Wonders. 17th, Aladdin's Word. 19th, The Battle. 20th, Happy End in Agrabah. And finally, the 21st, and this is A Whole New World, Aladdin's theme. That would not be the same as the song prior, but rather a musical version, I believe, or perhaps an operatic version. So there's the whole soundtrack to the film as well, and we see that it is quite expansive with several reprises of different songs and two versions of the main theme. Let's now turn to the fourth thing that makes this film a great one, and this is perhaps the most external verification and factor, that being both the budget and the box office income. The budget set for this animated film was 28 million. The box office income, however, speaks volumes for itself, 504.1 million. Let us now consider this a little more closely, shall we? So before we get into the stats, there's a need to mention the fact that this film, the trailer to it, was attached to almost every Disney VHS release in that particular time period when this film was released. Now, what about the stats? Well, we're told this. Upon its release on the 11th of November 1992, Aladdin grossed 196,664 million, I think, yeah, million in its first 5 days. The film expended to 1,103, 31 theatres by the 25th of November that same year, grossing 19.2 million for that weekend, finishing second at the US box office. Okay, I might have been wrong with that first statistic. 196,664 pounds, or dollars, should I say. It was only beat to the top spot by Home Alone 2, and that's understandable. It took 8 weeks for the film to surpass Beauty and the Beast, obviously another Disney production, so that shows you how well it done in that first period. For its eighth week of release, Aladdin collected 15.6 million and reached the number one spot at the box office, beating A Few Good Men. By February 1993, it surpassed Batman Returns to become the highest grossing 1992 film domestically. So now we get into a little more detail here. In the United States, it held the top spot 5 times weekly and breaks the record for the week between Christmas and New Year's Eve with 32.22 million during its 22-week run, and it grossed a further 217 million in the United States and over 504 million worldwide, showing how well it really done in that time period for an animated film. It even surpassed the record that Terminator 2 Judgment Day had at that time. So now, outside the United States and Canada, the film grossed 200 million in 93 and 250 million by January 94. So in Europe, Aladdin defeated Jurassic Park, and we know how well that film, Jurassic Park, done. It set an opening weekend record in South Africa. By 2002, the film grossed 287 million overseas and 504 million worldwide. It sold an estimated 52 million tickets in the United States and Canada. When adjusted for inflation in 2022 dollars, it totaled 491.4 million. So there's just how well this film actually done in its original release. It was a phenomenon. So there are several good reasons why this film is great, but nonetheless, even so, I do believe that the film is great, even as you're watching it. It is a fun film to just sit down and relax to. Thank you for listening.